time filled with horse-drawn carriages, no signs of equality, and apparently the origin of standardized testing, which is still the exact same today. Students are forced to engage in standardized testing from 1st to 12th grade, which if you didn't know is 11 years. Now ask yourself, what is there to gain from these tests? Personally, I cannot think of much. In all honesty, these tests probably do more harm than good when it comes to education. Hopefully those of you here today can agree with me about the harmful impacts of standardized testing. As a student myself, I have first-hand experience when it comes to testing. I do not have many good things to say about it. I just believe that there are more accurate and less stressful ways to measure students' intelligence. But what is exactly wrong with standardized testing? Millions of students each year have to go through the stressful process of testing for hours on end, and this stress does not go without consequences. Brain research suggests that too much stress is psychologically and physically harmful. This is from the source 15 Reasons. Too much stress at a developmental age can only do harm, and we must ask ourselves, is it worth it? And added onto the stress of existing schoolwork, home life, and in some cases, it is more of a burden. And students are not the only ones getting stressed out about these tests. Politicians and higher-ups are also using children to push their own personal agendas. They use the struggles of students to push for more or less funding. For example, low-performing schools are unfairly targeted by politicians who use academic performance as an excuse to further their own agendas. This is from Examining. The education and well-being of students should not be politicized. Luckily, many people agree with eliminating standardized testing. Eliminating these tests would have a very positive impact on students, teachers, and parents. There would be many noticeable changes right off the bat. Teachers would be able to focus more on individual needs without needing to teach to the test. Students would focus more on learning and remembering instead of memorizing and forgetting right after the test. There would be more focus on the individual instead of the vast majority. And work ethic throughout the school year would be more appreciated. There would also be less stress for all parties involved. Removing these tests can only be helpful. Creativity and individuality would blossom. While students are busy worrying about their final grades, teachers are worried about their paychecks. This, for many reasons, can only have bad results in the classroom. Let's take a step back and look at the situation from a teacher's point of view. To get a good bonus, they are required to have their kids perform well on their final test. This can be an issue for many reasons. For starters, teachers may be unforgiving and strict when it comes to sticking to the curriculum, or even worse, some may crack under the pressure and allow or even help with cheating. The process and resulting stress from these tests is not working in favor by any means. Envision yourself taking a standardized test. Imagine yourself getting up early in the morning, tired from homework, chores, and home life, only to realize that you have a day full of sitting at a desk and staring at your paper and testing, or even at a computer, if we're being honest. All of this for long periods of time. At this point, you're used to it, but it doesn't make the stress or the exhaustion go away that you and so many of your peers face. You've done amazing in your classes all year, only for it to come down to this point, where your intelligence is measured by one test and 120 minutes. The only winner in this situation are the test makers and the higher-ups who receive money for each student testing. Test companies make billions, and politicians get elected by promising better testing. This is also from the article 15 Reasons. It seems that everyone is profiting or benefiting off of the strain and stresses you face as a student. With all the drama and anxiety teens are facing already, let's not add on to it with endless testing and expectations. It is our job to hold both the school board and the elected officials accountable for our education. It is their job to ensure the best and most reasonable education for students possible. While standardized testing may never be removed, I hope today has shined a light on negative impacts of it. Students are not just blank faces on a paper. They are people, and they have the right to be treated as such.